Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one we're going to do things a little differently because if you can see, there's no truck here. A couple of videos ago I talked about how I ended up with an extra set of RBP stealth running boards, and I asked if anybody was interested in having them installed on a truck. So we did have one subscriber that was not too far away. He's still making a 5-hour drive to get out here, which is awesome. I appreciate that. And he's coming out to get these power steps installed. So we switch over. It came packaged very similarly to the amp steps. If you did not see the amp step installation, I'll put a link up above and down in the description below where you can check that out. But it came packaged very similarly. We got 3 boxes and then the steps. So I just got a call from Jason. He's about a half hour out. So once he gets here, we'll take a look at his truck and we'll get this installation process started. Well, one difference here is the instructions are actually in color, which is nice. And they also sent a nice little care pack with a couple of stickers, a free t-shirt, a lanyard, and a beer koozie, or soda koozie if you're not old enough to drink beer. But yeah, it's just a nice extra little touch that they've added. So we'll see how the install process goes. All right, guys, so here we are. We have Jason's F150. It is a 2.7, you said?
Yeah.
And leveled, and it needs some running boards. So that's what we're here to do. This is Jason. He came in from, what is it, a 5-hour drive?
Yep, Fort Wayne.
Yeah, so appreciate you coming out. So we'll go ahead and get started getting these installed and see how they look. So here, one difference from the amp steps is that it's got motors for each one of the mounts, where the amp steps were just the one motor in the front of each step. The steps themselves look almost identical, and we have the wiring. So we'll get started and see how it goes. First thing to do is we're going to install the mounts, and they will go just on the studs from the stock ones that he'd already had removed. And this will just fit right on here. This guy doesn't want to behave nicely.
Not cooperating?
No.
They're just not lining up?
Now this top stud is a little bit loose, so every time I try touching it, it pushes back some, and then stop doing that.
Maybe once it gets a bite on it, it'll hold it.
Yeah, just every time I try to put that lock washer on there, it pushes it back. So I think I got it this time. There we go.
Get the top turn. They're pushing away.
Yep. Beautiful. Top stud is in, and these bottom two, it's just a washer, lock washer, and a nut. Alright, so one thing we just found out is, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, if it's showing up, there is a marking on each one of them which says which position it's supposed to be in. So even though they all do look alike, and it's not very clear in the instructions which way they're supposed to be facing, they do have a mark there, and of course we just put the wrong one on in that before noticing that marking. So I'm going to switch that out and start again. Alright, so we have both of the motors mounted. The next step is going to be to install this control panel, which is going to go underneath there as well. So we'll go ahead and get that installed. Okay, so underneath there's 2 cross members, and then these 2 bolts here, and before the cross member there is where we're going to mount this control panel. That's a lot easier than reaching behind my head blindly trying to grab things.
Yeah. We're not putting an aircraft together here.
It's funny you say that because that's the only mechanical training I've ever had is on aircraft. And so the wires are supposed to be facing backwards, right? Towards the rear?
Should be the wire should be facing towards the two cross members.
Perfect. Guess I should have asked that before I
I thought
tightened
that,
it. But...
well, I looked and saw where they were, so I looked like that was going to be right.
Alright, so here we have the control module. It's mounted underneath to these 2 bolts. Got the wiring harness coming out the rear towards the rear of the vehicle. And we'll see what the next steps are. Alright, so here we are on the passenger side. We've got the step installed. We still have to go through, torque everything down. But it looks good. Looks like it may not go as far down as the amp step. I have to pull trucks up next to each other and compare. But overall, I mean, it looks good. Definitely sturdy. I don't want to step and jump on it yet, just since we haven't tightened everything down yet, but looks good. So we're going to go over, do the same thing on the driver's side, and then we'll get all the wiring started. All right, so here we go. Got the steps installed on the driver's side as well. I'm going to dig into running the wires, and we should be all done. Still working on getting this wiring done. Now earlier I gave RBP props for having a color manual. Unfortunately, the instructions that go along with the color pictures are not exactly clear, so this is different from the amp steps. At the amp steps, we started in the engine bay and worked the wiring harness back. Here we're starting with this controller that we installed in the back and kind of working out from there. So we're working forward to the back, then we have to go across and forward and back as well, and then up into the engine bay. So the wiring is a bit different, and the instructions are not exactly clear on how to run everything. So we're working on getting through that, and then we'll have an update. Okay, so to connect the lights, you don't have to splice the wires. They actually do have little connectors, which is nice, and it also doesn't have you drilling a hole through your rocker panel there. It's just going to route the cable out and around it. So we'll have to figure out a way to keep the cable up there, but then it just sticks to the top like that, to the rocker panel, and run your cables up, zip tie everything up out of the way. So we'll get those installed. Then we have a kill switch to install, and I think we are just about done. Yeah. All right, so well, we're halfway there. We got the steps on this side worked right away. Just put in the fuses, and this side went up, no problems. However, this side is still in the down position. So need to do a little bit of troubleshooting, see what's going on here. Not sure if it's because this magnet and this switch need to line up perfectly. So I'm not sure if it's those or it's one of our connections, because this wire we're supposed to run across and connect was short, so we actually had to splice in an extra piece of wire. So it could be that is what's wrong with this, or if it's neither of those, I don't know what it is. Okay, so it turns out it was none of those things. There is actually a switch, well, except for now it's not dropping when we open the door. Maybe. Yeah, there is a switch that we hadn't connected yet. And okay. Yeah, so now that we have the switch connected, we didn't route it yet. We'll still have to do that, but well, wait for it. All right, let's go around the other side and see if that side's still working. So this side, okay, yes, it is working. And going up. So this side is good. However, the driver's side seems to only work with the switch. Alright, so there it is. Everything is together. We still have to go through zip tie, make sure everything's secure in a way. Turns out we had a loose ground, or the ground wasn't perfect, whatever. So the kit does give you these self-tapping screws here that you need to put in to provide a ground for the switches. So just loosen that up and put the ground wire back in to make sure it was good. And that seems to have been the issue. Now it's working. And goes away. So it tucks up just like the amp steps do. He does have the logo, and it says rolling big power there. You actually kind of have to look for it to see it. It is the gloss black on the matte black. So if you know it's there and you're looking for it, you can see it, but if you didn't know it was there, I probably wouldn't even notice it. So anyway, that's what it looks like so far. We'll get everything wrapped up completely and see how James likes it. Or Jason. See how Jason likes it.
What did you say the first time?
James.
I think one word.
We are all complete. We have the running boards installed. They are working, which is always a bonus. But yeah, come over, open the door, they deploy. Hopefully I don't know if there's a weight limit, but if it can hold me, then I'd say it's pretty safe for climbing in and out. There's a couple of things. There is this switch here, so you can disable them and make sure that if you don't want them deploying or coming up, you can disable them. So it does have that kill switch. Let's see, it should, if you have some pressure on it, not go up. Yep, so it's safety built in, so if there's anything trapped in there, like a foot or a person or animal or whatever, it won't close. But there it goes. It said there's the difference in how these are installed, where it uses the magnets and these sensors. But once everything's buttoned up, unless you're looking for them, you wouldn't notice them. So, and same on for the front door, just here. You can see it underneath your latch, and on the outside it's just a small magnet there. I know some people may not like that, some people may prefer that, especially as if you're don't want to have anything plugged into your OBD2 port, if you're running a tuner or anything like that, and you can't have it occupied with your steps, then this would definitely be the way to go. There are a couple of things that could have been better about the installation. RBP, if you're listening, the running the wires across inside, I would recommend not doing that and just bundling that white wire and the black wire that need to come over to the driver's side over with the motor wires that come over underneath the truck, and then running them up, because there's also a grommet on the driver's side like there is the passenger side, and bring them up on that side. That would be much easier than trying to run everything under the console, because that's not exactly easy. We had to take off way too many panels, where if we just came up through the grommet, we'd just have to take off the one on each side and be done with it. But other than that, installation, it's what time is it now? 3 o'clock, so 11, 12, about 4 hours. There were 2 of us, so you know, it would probably take me, if I was working by myself, quite a bit more time. But you know, 4 hours, not a bad day. It's great weather out, and I think these look absolutely awesome. Gives the truck that great look. They're tucked away and it's still functional and makes it easy to get in and out of the truck. So what do you think, Jason?
They look awesome. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe, please.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I appreciate you coming out here, letting us get this on film, and I hope you enjoy them.
I couldn't be happier. They look awesome. Turned out great.